right now to get some pride.
Thanks, Bob.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Brandon.
Thank you.
No, it's John.
What's your name?
Yeah.
John.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Will you throw a party like this when you become Irish citizen?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, how are you?
Sell all our funds, Doc. Get rid of all that government paper.
I said to Siobhan, I said, now I want to get a good divorce attorney. Now I can.
Right.
No, you're better, right? It won't keep
Everything goes smoothly down Nobody objected. Stand over there.
Very good.
Don't talk from the neocons, please.
Welcome, everybody.
Annie?
We'd like everybody to pause and welcome Brendan here. This morning, Brendan Ring took an oath of citizenship, something the rest of us have never done and will never have to do. We were lucky, blessed if you will, be born in this country, to be natural citizens. Brendan is different than us in many ways, but he's an American by choice. Think about what that means. He chose this country. We simply inherited it. To become an American, Brendan made a huge sacrifice. He took an oath to renounce his allegiance and fidelity to his homeland, Ireland. He vowed to support and defend the Constitution, to bear true faith and allegiance, to bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by law, which we hope he'll never have to do. And he took this obligation freely without reservations. How many of us would do the same? I know Jim Wadsworth wouldn't. One gentleman who took the same oath said, "It is here in this land that we are promised life, liberty. This is not heaven, but it is right next door to it." Every day people are risking their lives to get to this country, to become Americans. And people like Brendan remind us that America is more than a place. It is a dream. It is the first nation in history founded on, not on religion or royalty or ethnicity, but on an idea. The idea of democracy. I once had the opportunity to introduce Frank McCourt, who wrote Angela's Ashes, a heart-wrenching account of his poverty in Ireland. And somebody in the audience asked him, "What gave you hope?" And he answered in one word, America. America, that is our hope and our home. And now, Brendan, it is yours. Welcome home.
Great!
And now we have Lieutenant Butch Robbins here with a warrant, to say a few words.
For any of those that have been here on St. Patrick's Day, it's a tradition that I introduce our guests on that day with a beautiful poem, a beautiful Irish poem that talks about the character of an Irishman, the integrity of an Irishman, and this great love. And every year that I recite that poem, invariably a dozen people come up to me afterwards, "Oh, Butch, can you please send me that? Can you please copy it down for me? It's so beautiful. It reminds me of my father, it reminds me of my brother." And when I recite those words, the only man I can think of is Brendan Ring. I'd like to recite that poem for you now today, but I can't because Brendan said, "No, let him wait till St. Patrick's Day and pay the $25 cover." But speaking of poems, I'm reminded of John Donne, who many, many years ago wrote that no man is an island and each man's life touches all those around him. And Brendan, I can speak unequivocally and tell you that your friends, your family, this community, and by extension this country, is all the better off because of your presence. We love you. And to commemorate this day, some of us have got together and we are going to present you with an American flag, the flag of the United States, but this is a very special flag because this particular flag was just delivered to Cleveland recently, and this particular flag recently flew over the Capitol building of the United States of America in Washington, D.C. Color guard, stand up. And a letter of authenticity that goes with it. Congratulations.
And now Brendan Ring is going to do something he's never done. He's going to recite the Pledge of Allegiance without his brogue. Here's the microphone. No, it wasn't on the test.
I did it anyway.
He pledged it anyway. Okay. Here, I'll leave
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Under God,
indivisible,
liberty.
with liberty and justice for all.
Yay!
So he keeps the brogue, you know, what can we say? All right, Brendan had to take a civics test as part of his naturalization interview. Some of the questions were tough, as Brendan told all of us for weeks. Here are some of the more difficult questions Brendan faced. Let's see if he still remembers the answers. Brendan, when was the War of 1812? Okay, 1814, all right, well, when is the 4th of July? Or as Brendan would say, the 4th of July. And in the song, Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Did Yankee Doodle name the feather, the hat, the town, or the pony macaroni? That would be the pony. We'll try an easy one. Who is the head of your local government?
The Right Honorable Edward Kelly.
And Mary Ann Kelly, would you come up here?
Is this the quietest we've ever heard Brennan? Really? You know, Brennan, it's a great day, great game for the United States to gain Brennan, and certainly a loss for Ireland to lose him. Lose all those funky shirts he wears from Ireland. I don't know about the brogue, but it's my honor to welcome you to home here to Cleveland Heights. I want to thank you for all you do for everybody. Everybody's here because we love Brendan. I say let's give him a standing ovation, but we're already standing, so let's give him an ovation. Brendan, as we know, is one of the leading employers in Cleveland Heights, but this man, I love him like a brother. I know I can say that in Cleveland Heights or in Ireland, but I really love you. I thank you for all you've done for my family, for Cleveland Heights, for everybody, and it's my honor to give you this proclamation from all City Council, and welcome to the United States, Mr. Brendan Ring.
And now we're going to call up Shane. We were going to have Shane dress as Uncle Sam, but he couldn't find a costume. We said, just wear what you wore to Deirdre's wedding, it'd be fine. So Shane, come on up.
That's Brendan's shirt.
You know, who said that?
I did.
I actually wore this shirt in honor of Brendan, now that he's American.
Irish Hawaiian.
Well, folks, I first met Brendan nearly 6 years ago on the patio right here in Nighttown Restaurant. I heard him open his mouth and sound like he had just arrived from County Kerry that day. So I proceeded to verbally abuse him for being from that part of Ireland. And he fired right back at me about me being from Dublin, along with some other comments that I cannot repeat in public today. Brendan immediately disappeared and came back about 5 minutes later with a plate full of sausages and said, "Here you go. Get these into you. These are the sausages that we have back home." I was sold. For the next few weeks, I would periodically pop in, chat with Brendan, eat some sausages, have a pint of Guinness, and go home. Now, or 10. Now, in case you don't know, we Irish are a very clannish type of people. Put us together in our own country, and we fight like cats and dogs. but put us together in a different land and we become lifelong friends. So over the last 6 years, myself and Brendan have shared many a laugh, sang many a song, right Butch? Told many a story, and even had a drink or two from time to time. As soon as he found out that some crazy person in the US Citizen and Immigration Department had decided that he was good enough to be an American, I knew I would have to act quickly. You see, I've been procrastinating for many years about sending my own papers in to become a citizen. But when Brendan phoned me a few weeks ago and told me that he was about to be an American, I knew I would have to act fast. You see, the cell phone rang and I answered it, and a voice on the other end of that phone said the following. Of course, I can't do it in a Kerry accent. You should be ashamed of yourself, coming over here and taking our jobs. You immigrants from Ireland are all the same, bleeding us Americans dry. I can't be seen with you anymore. We Americans have standards, you know. Well, that was that. I filled out my paperwork that day and mailed it off. If ever I was motivated to apply for citizenship, it was knowing that I would have to listen to this fella every day of every week moving forward. Now, Brendan may have told you that he was the first Irish Brendan to ever set foot on American soil, but he's about 1,500 years too late. You see, there was Saint Brendan, a 6th century Irish monk who, according to legend, crossed the Atlantic and reached North America in the year 571. Then there was another lad by the name of Brendan Behan, a well-known Dublin writer who once said New York was where he went to find spiritual refreshment. Notoriety and critical attention came to this Brendan in the mid-1950s, fueled by his prolonged drinking bouts and humorous behavior. Does that sound like anybody we know? So fast forward 30 years and you have March 16th, 1984, a Kerry man has just rang Aer Lingus, the Irish airline, and asked, "How long will it take to fly from Ireland to New York?" "Just a minute, sir," said the girl on the desk. "Thank you," said the Kerry man, and hung up. A young man from Kerry has just arrived in the Big Apple, the 3rd Brendan to land on American soil. He comes with a brogue so thick that nobody knows what the hell he is saying, but he is determined to conquer this land and make a name for himself. So from building sites to bars, our friend Brendan finds his way. A few years ago, he told me a story about how he got a job in New York with this one particular builder. The first job he went to, they were down in a hole singing happy birthday all around the foreman. "Is it the foreman's birthday?" asked Brendan. "No, Brendan," said one of the workers. "It's the 3rd anniversary of the hole." He worked very hard back then. So from working hard on building sites to pulling pints of stout on West 47th Street in New York, Brendan blazed a trail that led him to Cleveland Heights and landed himself on John Barr's doorstep here at Nighttown. My friends, today is a great day because I just gained a new American friend that can be heard singing Yankee Doodle Dandy anytime you stop by his house over in Bratenahl. This lad from the small town of Carsavine, who raised his hand today and pledged allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, has done pretty well for himself. Wouldn't you agree? Yep. Considering that the people of Kerry are only too happy to know that he won't be returning to live there after all these years in America, it must be a great relief to them. The only problem now is that Brendan, being an American, will return to Ireland as a tourist. Does this mean that he'll be wearing some god-awful looking tweed cap, wearing green trousers, white tennis shoes, with a big camera around his neck? And does this mean that Nighttown will no longer have the barleycorn, and that on St. Patrick's Day we'll be listening to songs from Elvis Presley? My friends, I didn't even have a drink. Where's my drink? Here's to my Yankee friend. If you have a drink, raise your glasses. I know, that's terrible, right? Where's our drinks?
He's now American, isn't it?
Here's a little Irish toast. Here's a health to you, a wealth to you, and the best that life can give to you. Ah, there you go. May Ireland be kind to you, and America be true to you, and life be long and good to you, is the toast of all your friends to you. Cheers. Sláinte.
Brendan, while Ireland, your original country, will always be dear to you, wherever you go in the world, you can now proudly proclaim the mantle of being an American. That means you will talk louder, dream bigger, and dress bolder. And to help you, you have to get rid of that Irish World Cup shirt. You're now one of us officially. And if you want to truly be an obnoxious American, here's for your car. And if you don't want the criticism that Barack Obama has gotten, here's your flag pin. And now I'd like to invite Dr. Betty Pinckney, District Director for Congresswoman Stephanie Tubbs-Jones, to the microphone.
Good afternoon, everyone. That sure was a pitiful good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm happy to be here to see my friend Brendan. I haven't seen you in almost 2 years because while you were studying citizenship, I was getting my PhD in citizenship. So that's why she's calling me doctor, but I'm back now and I'm waiting for Freddie Cole. When's it coming? Okay. Stephanie says she wishes she could be here. Nightown was a favorite spot of her husband, Merv, and you know it's my place. I talk about it all the time, and you have the best music in the world. And so Stephanie asked me to bring this proclamation to you from her, and it says, Certificate of Special Congressional Recognition presented to Brendan Spring in recognition of outstanding, and she put the wrong thing on there because it's supposed to say, I have to bring it back again. Okay, but this is from Stephanie, and I have one back over here before the day is over. Okay?
America is a country that remains an unfinished work. Brendan, you are now part of the work that is to come. And since democracy is not a spectator sport, Bruce Hennes, the master of disaster, is here to register you to vote.
Here we go.
You have to reveal who you're going to vote
All we
for.
gotta do is sign. Whoa, wait. Whoa. Wait a minute. You can't be pointing out the jury. I'm jury duty. This could make a difference.
Well, I guess that, here goes my wife's vote. That cancels her out.
Get registered to vote. Maggie Thatcher isn't running though. Right.
Well, they say that home is really where your heart is, so really Brendan hasn't changed anything because his heart is with Siobhan, and we'd like her to come up here now.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for coming today. It makes this a special day. I just wanted to say thank you to Brendan for whatever mischief you got up to in winter of 1983 that resulted in Claire and Owen sending you off to further afield than you had in your past send-offs. This time they were going to send you to Soldier Lynch, a friend of his father, up in Bronx, New York, where he would toil by day as a construction laborer, and by evening he'd have to play football for Kerry and the weekends. This, they thought, would calm him down, set him straight, so he'd come back to his studies in the fall of '84. Well, little did they know then, when he was sent off to America, it was an adventure for him. And I remember that first summer that he just embraced his time there with the pulse of the city, the opportunities, and the diversity. So I'm also glad that you ditched the Bronx after 2 weeks and found your way to Queens in a neighborhood named Jackson Heights and established a kind of a Kerry headquarters in a little local American pub called Stablemates. It was there that many a night he would come and tell the local American girls from Queens adventure stories of his youth in Ireland. And of course, to this day, I am one of those girls, and I'm still enchanted with your stories every day. So we're here to celebrate your citizenship today, but to me, you'll always be the man from Kerry. I'd like to and for everyone here that knows Brendan and loves him, truly, we know that first and foremost, he is a proud Irishman from Kerry. There's a poem that's been hanging on our walls for probably the last 20 years together. It's on either different rooms or different walls. It's about growing up and coming from Brendan's hometown of Carasavine, so I thought it would be fitting to read it today. It's called The Old School by Segerson Clifford. And here it goes. We have roamed the wide world from Kells to Malay. We have sailed the great ocean from Perth to Glen Bay. But wherever we wander, our dreams they will be, with the old school of Cara neath sweet Beena tea. We marched with the Fenians, with Caesar through Gaul, and we watched the old clock ticking slow on the wall. And the great men who taught us to walk tall and free, may their names live forever neath sweet Beena tea. And when the great story of Kerry is told, right proudly they wore it, the green and the gold. Those men who leap skywards, their names you could see, in the roll of the old school neath sweet Beena tea. Now death calls the roll, and the lads I held dear speak out from the shadows and whisper, we're here. Dwayne Neal and O'Connor, John Ring and Peachy, they were all giants in the old school neath sweet Beena tea. Night falls on the fair field, I stand here alone. For the old school has vanished, my friends are all gone. I will rise and go after and seek where they be. So goodbye and God keep you, my sweet Beena tea. Oh, goodbye and God keep you, my sweet Beena tea. There you go.
Brendan, never forget that in a free country, while every man is entitled to express his opinions, every other man is entitled not to listen to them. But today we're going to listen and hang on your every word. Ladies and gentlemen, America's newest citizen, Brendan Ring.
I didn't know this was happening, so I don't know what to say. I'm kind of speechless. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know what to say.
How does it feel to be an all-American boy?
I came here in 1984 just for the summer because I was what they call the troubled youth. I spent way too much time dealing with people like Butch back in Ireland. I was very popular at the local police station, and the day before I left for America, I went for a walk with a friend of mine over the bridge in the town, and he said to me, you know, they're sending you off because you're causing too much trouble around here. And I go, no, they're just sending me to America for the summer. He goes, I don't think so, you're not coming back. And I didn't realize it then, but he was actually right, because I guess he knew my parents better than I knew them. And he said, anyway, it's just as well you're leaving, because this is a town of only 2,500 people, and we're about tired of listening to your bullshit at this point. So he said, you better go to America, because that's probably the only place that they'll actually think that what you're talking makes sense. So, but the real reason I stayed was because because I was a third-year engineering student. I came to work for the summer in Manhattan, and that place Siobhan mentioned, I walked in there one night, and I met her, and there was no going back after that, for anything. And thanks, baby. And thanks to all you guys here. I'm not really good at this sincere stuff.
Don't we know?
Great to see you, Butch. It was actually a very moving experience down there today, to be in the hall with people from, I don't know, something like 40 different countries. They were there today, from Croatia, Russia, Nigeria. There was only 2 guys from Ireland, which I suppose is a sign of the changing times. But it was a very, very moving experience, and it felt good to be part of it. And I don't think I really understood what it was going to. I didn't understand what it was going to feel like until I got into that hall today, and I was just awed by some of the speakers that got up and said to the crowd what it meant to be an American. One lady from Mexico, one guy from Nigeria in particular, whose journeys were a lot more difficult than mine. And again, I don't know what to say beyond thank you for this. I didn't know this was happening. I wished it didn't, because no, my reputation for not being speechless is gone. But thanks to everybody for coming, and I really mean it. Thank you. Oh, and sorry, just one other thing. To my friend Shane over here, I mean, we all have our journey coming to America, but Shane, although he comes across as insincere, Shane found his way to America by writing a letter to Paul Newman a number of years ago, because he was getting a little bit bored in Ireland. He wanted to do the one good thing he's done in his life, and he wanted to cycle across America, coast to coast, for a children's charity group in Ireland. And he wrote a letter to Paul Newman, and surprise, surprise, Paul Newman responded and bought him and his buddy a couple of bikes, and they cycled from San Francisco to Nantucket. And he met his wife Amy coming through Akron, went back to Ireland and came back and married her. So his is a good story too. Thank you.
We want to thank all of you for joining us, and as Brendan makes his way to the cake, Joe Hunter is going to come up, and we're going together on kazoos honor our new citizen. Joe?
Ready? Yeah.